Okay, this video is all about how to be an optimistic person all the time. And I'm not talking about being fake and like pretending that you don't have problems or that like life is great when it's not, but I'm talking about how to be optimistic and happy even when bad things happen to you, and how to have that overall positive attitude that you know life is good and that it's going to get better. That's what we're talking about in this video. Nothing fake, but true and genuine tips to being happy and optimistic all the time. So my first tip on being an optimistic person all the time is to practice gratitude daily. I think that this practice of daily gratitude is so vitally important. And in the past, I used to just say like, okay, I practice gratitude daily and it's like all in my head. My challenge for you is to actually take some time every day and make it an appointment, either morning or night, and write down something that you're grateful for. My second tip on being an optimist all the time is to learn something from every tragedy that you face. So this is truly where like, we're not sugarcoating life. We are not trying to pretend that we don't have problems, because everybody has problems, right? And some of them are very, very serious problems, and some of them are heart-wrenching problems. But no matter what we're facing in life, there is a lesson that we can learn from it. And this is where like truly we have to look outside of ourselves and see like, what is God trying to teach me through this experience, or what positive is going to come out of this experience. And I think so often about a book called Man's Search for Meaning, about this man who was in a concentration camp, and while he was there, like what got him through was the fact that he knew that from his experiences, he could see himself teaching his students about it in the future, and that he could see himself teaching other people about how he made it through and how he was able to get through these horrendous situations. And that kept him alive, like literally, was this idea and belief that I know that I'm gonna have something that's going to be valuable to other people who are suffering too, so I'm gonna teach them about this when I've made it through. Now, that's kind of like an extreme, amazing example, but no matter what's going on in our lives, there's a lesson that we can learn. And it might take you some time to sit back and actually be at a good enough place to like say like, what am I supposed to learn from this lesson? Because it's hard. Like it takes swallowing your pride. It takes like realizing that like life goes on and that we all have bad things happen to us. So like, I'm not rushing you through that process. Like mourn, grieve, be sad, because it's fine to feel those things, but also realize that to live a fulfilled and happy life, we gotta learn lessons from tragedy, or else in our head, in our heart, we just think we like uselessly suffered. And there's no suffering in this life that has to be useless, because we can learn something from it. My third tip is to pray for the gift of optimism. Now, I actually learned this from a book called How to Be a Holy Woman by Wendy Nelson, and in it she talks about spiritual gifts. And of course we read, you know, in our scriptures that there's all these spiritual gifts, and we just typically think of those gifts like the gift of tongues, or to be healed, or to like heal other people, or, you know, the gift of faith. And all these gifts are amazing, but she talks about in her book how there's so many gifts of the Spirit. And some of them are gifts of self-discipline, gifts of optimism, gifts of being kind, gifts of being able to have empathy for other people. These are gifts that we typically don't think about, but as I read her book, I realized it's absolutely true. So pray and work on this gift of the Spirit of optimism, because it truly is a gift from our Heavenly Father. And so when you can start to view optimism like that, like a gift we want to obtain, it becomes something that we can work towards. So my like goal for you is to start praying for this, to actually pray for this gift of optimism, because Sister Nelson also mentions in her book that gifts of the Spirit are there for us, but we have to work for them. So start working towards that gift. My fourth tip for you on how to be an optimistic person all the time is to look for the good in every day. Now, this might sound a little like my first tip, which was like to be grateful, right? And to start a gratitude journal. This is a little bit different, because I believe that like being grateful for something is different than seeing the good in something. So, you know, if I'm grateful for the things that happened to me. That's a little bit different than saying, I had this miracle happen to me today, or I saw, you know, just a divine signature today, which is the word I like to use for when God literally like signs his name to your life and says like, oh, you know what? I blessed you that you found the sweater that you loved, or I blessed you that you didn't get in that car crash, or you know, there's just so many good things that happen to us every day that we need to open our eyes to them. And this is as simple as literally the other day, I was out in Salt Lake City, Utah, and as I was driving, I saw this cute grandpa holding hands with his 2-year-old little grandson. And this grandson was just like so in love with his grandpa. And just, you could tell that like they had this awesome relationship. And I thought to myself, how amazing is that? Like, there is so much love and goodness in this world. Okay, that was my good thing that I saw yesterday, right? I believe that there's moments like this all the time, and we need them to buoy us up in a world where if you turn on the news, you are going to get story after story after story of tragedy and loss and devastation. So look for the good things in your life, and so much more than gratitude, look for the things that are beautiful and wonderful and of good report and praiseworthy. Like, we'll just throw that all in there. So look for those things in your life. Now, I know that there's a lot of tips on how to be an optimist, but I believe that those 4 tips that I just shared with you are like the main key tips that if you truly follow and practice them, of keeping a gratitude journal, looking for a lesson in every trial and tragedy that you face, in praying for the gift of optimism, and then looking for the good, the miraculous, the amazing things in your life, that you will find that it is so easy to be positive, that it's so easy to be an optimistic person all the time. So let me know what you think. Leave me a comment down below on how you stay optimistic and positive. I really look at those comments. I answer every single one of them. So let me know, because I would love some more tips for myself to practice on how to have an amazingly positive and happy attitude every day. So leave me a comment down below. Please give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. And of course, I can't wait to see you in my next video. Abby J out.